Welcome to another episode of Smokeyheads Retro Movie Show.
Season 2.
The 90s.
All right, man. We're back. We got a whole bunch of... We started the season already.
Yes.
All right, Fargo didn't do too good. Yeah. But Major Payne is moving up.
Yep.
So nice. Yeah, that's why I said one of the movies we picked tonight, I wanted to do a fun one, because I was like, we don't have a lot of fun ones.
No,
We had Cadillac Man. We lost that one.
Son of a beef.
Fucking really hurts, man.
Oh, yeah. No sound.
We worked, no sound on it, man. That was when the sound thing blew out.
We had to get a new soundboard, so.
Yeah.
Thank God for that one.
Hopefully this one records.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sucking. We did.
I would like to thank all our viewers out there for chipping and tuning in. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. We love y'all.
Yep. Don't forget to subscribe.
And hit that little like button on the little icon.
You guys are on point tonight, man. I love it, man. All right, man. Let's get started, man. We got a long night ahead of us, man. We got some good movies here tonight. But first, we're gonna start with one of my favorite bands of all time. All right, so tonight's movie will be Oliver Stone's The Doors.
Everybody in. The ceremony is about to begin.
Name, occupation.
Jim. Things are about to explode. You can feel it in the air. Planet is screaming for change, Morrison. We gotta make the myths.
I'm the Lizard King! I can do anything!
Mr. Morrison, I'd like to go make a record.
Sure, why not?
Jim Morrison, the god of rock.
The network have told us that they have a problem with the lyric, girl, we couldn't get much higher. They asked if you could say, girl, we can't get much better.
Girl, we couldn't get much higher. Yeah!
I love it when you sing to me.
I'm the poet and you're my muse.
You hear them out there? It's you they want now.
They don't want me, they want my death.
You're a poet, not a rock star.
Mr. Morrison, gone too far. The show's over.
What are you gonna do about it? Try to set the night on fire. Try to set the night on fire.
Go on, kill me.
The night on fire. Try to set the night on fire.
Okay, yeah. So that's this is the collector's DVD version, but I had to show that I still have the Blu-ray of it too.
Oh, wow.
Which the special features were exactly the same.
And the laser disc.
I wish I had a laser disc, man. Those are bad. Those are bombs.
That's a VHS.
Exactly.
Let's just start it off, man. Right? That's just.
I'm so excited about the movie, guys. I'm a big fan of The Doors as well as you are.
Yep, I got you.
And we brought all the music lyrics.
I'll tell the story. Yeah, I'll definitely tell the story about how we got inspired by them and everything. I can show you the fancy pictures.
The budget for this movie is $38 million, which is not pretty much right. Opening weekend, it made $9.2 million. 21.
I didn't think this made a lot of money.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, okay.
Gross was $34 million.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
it made up in
when the movie came out, I had no clue who The Doors was, so it was like we didn't go see the movies or whatever.
Right.
We'll get into that when we start talking about the movie. And what about the music?
Oh, the music we're playing was Whitney Houston.
Again?
Yes.
She did dominate the night.
She was the main woman. Or The Man That I Need.
Oh, okay. All right, don't worry, I'm not going to sing that one.
You going to sing that for me?
I catch myself on every
I'm
one.
going to call my friend.
Every time like you say this song, I'm like, rush. It's like I always got to sing the song.
You got it, because some people don't know it. I don't know it sometimes.
All right, Jay, let's get those cast and crew.
Oh, man, forget there's so many of them.
Oh, this is a big one. This is definitely a big one.
But surprisingly, I only saw that it had 3 nominations for awards.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like
it,
for real small events.
Probably like sound editing or something like that, right?
Yeah, no, but it was like, the Boston Cinematic kind of
thing.
thing. Like
no Academy Awards.
Nothing like nothing big.
Yeah, those are the ones I really only care about.
Maybe
Golden Globes.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. They're all like film festival type awards and
Right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah, I was really surprised, but of course, we got Val Kilmer.
Kilmer, man,
couldn't have picked a better actor for that
Top Gun.
one.
He got the role because of Willow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because he loved the way that he was in Willow or whatever, and that's why he got it. But he
Okay.
did most of the vocals for Jim Morrison was him.
Oh,
they overlaid Jim Morrison's real voice over with his certain things because after a while they would say that he would get tired from singing so much. So many takes or whatever.
No, definitely, I can see that.
But it was all him, man. He fucking embodied. He really wasn't even a Jim Morrison fan until after he played the role. It's pretty cool. Yeah. He totally embodied it.
Yeah. He definitely, definitely was a character actor on that one. Then we got John Desmore, who played the engineer.
In the beginning, the guy that starts the music, but he's also the drummer.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's the drummer, isn't it?
I was going to say, you should start off with the drummer, plays the engineer.
Yeah, that's why I paused a minute. I was like, drummer? Yeah.
So him, John Densmore, Robbie Krieger were very, very cooperative in the movie. And it would help, director make, decisions on, the atmosphere, because he was so into the atmosphere or whatever. Ray Manzarek hated him. And didn't want nothing to do with the movie.
Okay, then we got Meg Ryan playing Pam. We got Kevin Dillon playing John.
So Kevin Dillon was also in Platoon with the director.
Funny.
We got Kyle MacLachlan as Ray Manzarek.
He was coming straight off of Blue Velvet on that one.
We got Paul A. Rothschild as the music managers.
Yeah, you're kind of missing. Well, because these are little roles. So Paul Rothschild is the real executive of Elektra Records.
Yeah.
And he just had a cameo. Now you're doing little cameos.
Okay, no, because I was like, he doesn't look like the manager.
Frank Whaley is important.
Yeah. Frank. Yeah. Okay. Frank Whaley. Michael Wincott.
Well, Frank Whaley was Robbie Krieger.
Yep.
He also was in. He worked with the director in Born on the 4th of July.
Oh, I got another movie.
Okay, and then we got Crispin Glover as Andy Warhol. I said Michael Wincott.
I didn't hear.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. But Michael Wincott.
That's
the Crow.
The Crow, yeah.
Bang! Fuck! I'm dead.
Yeah, and it was also we just did Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Captain Quinlan.
Mimi Rogers is in it.
Who should we play?
The magazine photographer, the one that's come on, Make love to the camera and all that kind of stuff.
She was important.
Kathy Quinlan. She played Patricia Keeley, his love, his wife. His dark satanic wife or whatever.
So, quick, real funny thing about that. So he based that character. There was a Patricia in real life. He based that character on 3 different experiences with 3 different women and made it just one character.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
One of them, she wasn't the witch. But the witch. The idea is Celtic witch or something like that. Yeah. The real witch hated that idea when she found out when she saw the movie and told Oliver Stone she was going to put a curse on him and she wanted him dead. Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Patricia was actually in the movie.
Okay.
She plays the real Patricia plays the when they get married.
Oh, she's the priestess?
She's the priestess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the real Patricia.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Michael Madison, he was
he's a porn star.
Yeah. He's like Tom Baker.
Tom Baker.
No, that's the porn star's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think, that's pretty much it. I mean, Dennis Berkeley, where have I seen him before? I know he's played a biker before. And
Dog?
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, dog.
Was he Ham? And not Ham.
No,
the other guy with and V.
No, I know who you're talking about. I don't think that's him.
Oh, yeah.
He was definitely in a lot of stuff back in the day.
Yeah,
biker
that's what I'm
movies
saying.
and stuff like that.
He's the producer. He's the producer now.
Oh, is he?
He was the producer.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know.
There's
somebody on there that's a producer, though. But you sure that was him? The fat guy with
the dog.
Yeah. Wes Studi, just mention him because any Native American part.
Wes Studi.
They got him.
The old Indian dude.
Oh, okay.
But I think that'd be it for the.
That was good. Yeah.
So yeah.
And then the order was out of whack on that thing. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was. That's what it was throwing me off and stuff. But then we got the director, of course, Oliver Stone. I was
one of my favorite directors.
Torturing you with that because I knew how you.
I was pretty good. I kept saying, even though I introduced it as Oliver Stone's The Doors.
Yeah.
After that, I kept saying the director.
I was just trying to be professional and keep it going. And then the writers, Randall Johnson, Jansen. Yeah, and Oliver Stone. And
So, real quick thing about Oliver Stone, we actually talked about this in Platoon. Was that he became a mad Doors fan, a big Doors fan in Vietnam, and it was when he started doing LSD.
Right.
And he just
usually when we all find it.
But listening to the commentary, you could tell he's a fucking fan because he knows all the albums, he knows everything. A lot of stuff that there's a lot of things that they changed.
Right.
That I didn't realize either, but there's a lot of things that they added too, just for cinema. You know what I'm saying? But all right, let's start it off, man. The movie starts with the poem, the movie.
Yeah.
The movie will begin in 5 minutes. Mindless voice announced. Real quick on my history with the Doors.
Yes.
So the way I got into them was a friend at school gave me the Doors soundtrack. So the movie had already come out. It's already been out for a couple of months or whatever. And he was like, dude, you got to listen to this and everything. And I was like, I'm not really into that kind of stuff, whatever.
So you got all the popular stuff.
So he didn't show me from the soundtrack yet. He gave me he showed me Alabama song.
Okay.
Whiskey Bar. Which isn't a Jim Morrison song anyway. He didn't write that song. And I was like, all right, that was pretty cool and everything. Then he started showing me like when the music's over and all that stuff like that, and Backdoor Man. The next thing you know, he was like, just get this album first because, like you said, it's all the popular music. It's like the greatest hits, the soundtrack. Which, watching the movie, I like that soundtrack was missing so many freaking songs.
Well, you can only put so much.
Hey man, you could have a double album, man.
No, well,
I mean, considering it didn't make a lot of money, okay, yeah. But there's a lot of times where they come out with like a sequel, like the Doors soundtrack Part 2 or something like that.
Yeah, well, was the music in the movie?
Yeah,
and not in the soundtrack. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were saying
like,
they moved so much music
songs
in the movie.
No. They put so much music in the movie that they didn't put on the soundtrack. Definitely should have been on there. And I listed every song that pops up.
Dead Cat, Dead Rat, that wasn't on the freaking...
No.
That wasn't even on
there's a lot of them like that. But they also put 2 songs that weren't the Doors, which was Heroin by Lou Reed and
the opera song.
The opera song, that we ran the shit out of that album. But once I got him into it, then we were just addicted. And then it was like Christmas. I was like,
"What's the opera song?"
Christmas. I was like, "Pops, I want Doors." And I remember I got 3 albums. And Waiting for the Sun was my favorite. Still to this day.
And we got to live with Jim Morrison.
Oh yes, because I had the long hair. Dude, I was totally burnt out. I was totally
all about it. I gotta write poetry.
Oh yeah. You making fun of me, man? I got a whole book.
No, but you had that Jim Morrison demeanor. So
oh yeah, a lot of acids and all good stuff. Man. I was definitely living his life, man. The good life. So he's doing a recording, and that's where John Densmore is the engineer, the drummer we discussed before, and he's recording American Prayer, which is his final album, which is just all of his poetry stuff. He recorded that like literally right before he went to Paris. So that was his last thing. So that's why it kind of opens up the movie with that, where he's telling the story.
Wow.
Because he had that little interview part in there. Starts off in 1949. Well, not starts off. I just said it started off. But
he's driving
on the highway. Yeah. 1949. Riders of the Storm is playing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I literally wrote down every song that's playing. That's
when he passes by the accident.
Yes, the accident. So he said that inspired him, that the Indian soul jumped into his, and that's what made him become who he was. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Seeing that dead bodies and all that stuff like that.
And he also said that was his parents who hit the Native Americans later on in the movie.
Well, he said they were killed in the accident. Yeah. We fast forward to 1965.
Yeah.
Oliver Stone gushes about that era. He was like, that era was just the best, man. He was like, as far as like the late 60s, the mid to late 60s.
Yeah.
Not the final end of the 60s, which we'll get to later.
The middle, like 1965.
Yeah, because it was like just the music was different. Everybody was more experimental. The Bob Dylans were coming out and all that stuff like that. Before that, it was the Beatles opened up the doors for a lot of that. And the Rolling Stones right after that. So now everybody started saying like, oh, we could do this, we could do that. Everybody was looking like the Beatles. You know, you had the Monkees and a couple other bands that were like that.
Well, first he's in college.
Yeah, so he's in college. Yeah. So yeah, that film that he shows. They said there's no record of it. Oliver Stone's looking for it all over the place, but he couldn't find it. But he had ex-students that saw the film, and he kind of put it together himself to see like, this is what it would look like or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But Jim Morrison was very, very sensitive. Yeah. And he didn't like when people criticized his stuff.
So he quit.
And that's why he quit. Yeah. Because he didn't like, the same thing happened when they criticized his poetry book. He didn't like that shit at all.
Yeah, that's good, you guys.
Yeah, and that's why he meets up with Ray Manzarek or whatever. Right? And they start talking about the music and his poetry or whatever.
Yeah, man, you're great, man. Want to come up with a band?
Yeah. So then it cuts over to who sees Pam walking the dog.
Yeah.
That follows her.
It's because she lives on Love Street.
She's in the play on Love Street. One of my favorite songs too.
Great song.
I was on the soundtrack.
Great record.
But you can see that in her eyes, she was like smitten automatically.
Well, he was waiting there all day, and then he comes to the window. And she
she won't freaking come out.
Go through a fucking window and go to the bed while she's sleeping.
So she was like, you waited there this whole time? Why'd you do that for? She's like, because you're the one. It's like, just that simple. By the way, Oliver Stone was the teacher of that class. If you didn't know.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was like, oh, there's Oliver Stone.
So that's when they meet Ray and everything. And they start talking about that. He's like, oh, yeah, you're better than Bob Dylan. He's like, you got to be better than Bob Dylan. I'm in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government. Then it switches over to Moonlight Drive.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, he sings that. He's singing that when he shows him the song. The song that he sings to Ray is Moonlight Drive. They said that's what they said. They got to start a band. They start talking about the Doors of Perception or whatever.
Yeah, he's got a band name. Yeah. So then they switch to the band playing, right?
Yeah.
Messing around and stuff.
They try breaking on through. They're trying that, messing around with it.
Yeah. And the drummer came up with that one? No. The lead guitarist.
No, the guitarist came up with Light My Fire.
Jim Morrison wrote basically all the songs.
Okay.
Except for Light My Fire.
Light My Fire, okay.
And Whiskey Bar.
And actually, there's one more too, Backdoor Man.
Okay.
I always thought Backdoor Man, I thought he always wrote that. Yeah, so they try to Light My Fire and they start workshopping it.
Yeah.
And then boom, it goes to 6 months later at the Sunset Strip. And then they're playing Break On Through, the first version.
Yeah, where he wouldn't look at the crowd.
Yeah.
Yo,
He's
man,
very shy.
Let him in, man. Let him in, Jim, let him in.
It's funny.
Then it switches over to Crystal Ship.
Crystal Ship, wow.
Yeah. That's when they're going into, they're getting him into to do the peyote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yo, man, we got to expand our mind. No. That's when they go to the desert, right?
Yeah. Now they're going to the desert, whatever.
No, yeah, because then a little bit later they go to Whiskey a Go-Go.
Oh, and that's right.
That's where he comes up down the Lizard King thing too.
That scene is fucking trippy as fuck.
That was always like our, this is what we got to do.
He's like, oh, I'm afraid. Like, I lied. I'm afraid too. Jim said that.
Yeah, just say, a lot of the dialogue in this movie was based off of his poetry.
Yeah,
so it's like how many of you know that you're alive?
Oh, okay,
you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Then they start singing My Wild Love When Riding.
Yeah.
Which is great, man, because when we found out that song,
you
remember that dude when you did we had the girls over, and me and Chops came out in dashikis and shit like that with the bongos. In the living room. I think so. There's something like that. They had candles and shit like that. We had tequila.
Every Christmas
that was great, man.
Tequila.
You got some crazy tripping scenes in the cave and shit like that.
Yeah, that was extremely.
What's cool about that is a lot of the scenes, all that like the weather and stuff like that, that was all ILM. George Lucas's special effects group.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was very, very new too at the time. That's the other thing I want to talk about. The Indian.
Yeah.
The bald-headed Indian.
Yeah.
So that represents death.
Yeah.
That's the Grim Reaper. I never noticed this before, but that motherfucker is in that movie way more than I thought.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's always like in the background. So
no, but not even dressed as an Indian. He's dressed as a transvestite at one scene when they're at the Andy Warhol thing. Yeah. Wow. There's when the guy who's riding the horses.
Yep, he was
the driver. He was the driver and everything. He lifts his hat like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And Albert Stone goes, death. You see him? Death. There he is. Death. There he is. Death was always around him.
Wow.
That's crazy.
When he's in Miami, he's in the crowd, running in the circle. I was like, oh shit, he's there too.
That's what I was saying, you know.
Those are the obvious scenes, with the ones that were hidden where you don't, like, he's dressed as totally different characters. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You got it's like, where's Waldo? You got to pick him out.
Yeah. Like I said, if he didn't say nothing, I would have never known that was him. I was like, oh shit, that is him. Oh,
Yes,
wow,
yes, exactly.
Now I'm looking for him every time. I'm like, oh shit. Skip over to 1966, Whiskey A Go-Go. Man, fucking, I would have loved to fucking been around the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Seriously, you know?
Between the 60s and the 80s.
See the bands that passed through that?
Because in the 80s, it was the glam bands, the rock bands that was just destroying that shit. They said you literally go from one bar to the next, and it was just nothing but new bands coming out. And like, the streets were filled. You couldn't even drive in the streets. It was just filled with people and shit like that. It was the same thing then.
And then they get offered a record contract, right? In the Whiskey A Go-Go?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Because
the band member, he talked about fucking the mother and the sister.
Yeah,
and
no,
the
like,
guy
what,
gets
you
fucking
fucking crazy? Yeah.
And they just go, fuck. Like, get him out of here, get him out of here. They freaking throw him out of here.
He hits him with the mic. The owner, yeah.
And that's when Elektra Records comes. So that guy with the red so the guy with the red shirt with the glasses, he's like, yeah, you should follow this guy. That's the original Rothschild. So he was the original band that signed him up. Then they do Light My Fire, and then that's what blows them up. That's the song that blows them up. Off the charts, 1967. Now it's the hippie scene. They're showing like the park in San Francisco with all the hippies and the naked women and the bebes eating.
Yeah, they were all over the place. And I noticed none of them were small.
Because they didn't wear bras, man. It was gravity was pulling them down, man.
But there's still A cups out there. Not in that world.
Now they're playing Alabama song, and they're getting off the plane. And they're like, name and occupation.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've actually had the video of that, the actual video of that.
Wow.
Yeah, from the concert video, live at the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Nowadays, they're getting mad fame because of the what you want to call it, the Light My Fire. It's blown up. They're finally going on the Ed Sullivan show.
Yeah.
He says that the guy that they hired to play Ed Sullivan was a jerk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said he was a comedian or whatever, but he looked just like Ed Sullivan. So they're like, we have to keep him. Yeah. But he said,
is he Ed Sullivan or Richard Nixon?
I thought it was a lot
he could have been in Richard Nixon too.
Yeah.
What?
I thought there was a lot of makeup on him.
There was makeup, but not a lot. I mean, but he had the demeanor and everything. But the problem he had with him was that he would never say the same line twice. Like, he would just keep making up lines. It was like, you got to be fucking consistent, man.
Yeah. We got to cut this shit later.
But they have a problem with saying, girl, we couldn't get much higher. So they said, can we do something like, girl, we couldn't get much better?
That didn't even go.
Hey, man, the Stones did it. They changed their lyrics.
They changed.
That's the movie.
Did it.
The movie. Yeah. I thought you'd give me some knowledge.
Change the word, Jim. Okay, let's change your name to Jamie something.
Just the word. Yep.
He's like, how about bite my wire?
So they go to do this show, and he says it. He gets right into the camera. Girl, we couldn't get much higher.
It's funny because the cameraman is like got the camera down on his crotch, and the guy in the back is yelling, "Get it off! Get it off!" Like Jim Morrison did that.
Exactly. Now he's doing the pictures that you were talking about. Which I didn't know that was Mimi Rogers. Where he gets the famous picture.
Yes.
I had the poster
the
over my shirt.
Picture,
Yeah.
But now he's starting to realize his popularity.
Yeah. Well, everybody keeps telling him it's all about you, not the band.
Exactly.
They don't want the dollars. They want you, Jim. You are the dollars.
You become like godlike, basically. Like
God of rock and roll.
they use the name, and I forgot to look it up. I don't know if you know about Dionysus.
Yes.
Yeah.
They use that a lot. That word.
Yes, you're talking about that in the desert when they're tripping out. Now the God in the.
Yeah, and I know there's something about Brian De Palma too, that one of his movies, his early movies.
Isn't that the god of like wine and stuff, like a partying and
It's possible, Dionysus.
Pretty sure that's it. Yeah, like, you know, I'm trying to remember.
Because he even says it at the end. He was like, I played with
my ancient art classes and stuff.
Yeah, we gotta look into that.
Know? But yeah, I'm pretty sure, you know, that's like, you know, there's always pictures of him with libations and all this kind of stuff. So, but, you know.
So now they're so popular, they get invited to New York, whatever, and they go into the Andy Warhol's crazy parties. He was known for having these crazy parties.
Yeah.
Lots of famous people used to go in there.
And it's funny too for like how trippy the doors were. They were like, "It's not our scene. We just want to get the hell out of
here."
Yeah,
they're
like,
very comfortable. Yeah. But he was describing how like they did the camera was just kind of like swaying, and all the lights they were having different sets of lights or whatever. Like, really trying to get different emotions going on, like just a crazy scene of being on drugs.
But I can imagine the kind of people that were at those parties.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was definitely, and it was a different time, you know.
That's what
like
I'm saying.
now, it's like
like
more acceptable, but you saw like that there was like trans people or whatever. Yeah. He meets Michael Madsen, the porn star. He's like, I like your movies, man. You got a great penis.
Didn't you dress up with him for Halloween one time?
No, that was Holmes.
That was Holmes, right?
Yeah, from Wonderland. Like,
John Holmes. John Holmes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that costume the other day. That was a great costume. And now Paul Williams, my boy, is in this movie. I love him.
Yes.
Bugsy Malone. He sung all the songs for Bugsy Malone. Yep. He wrote all the songs for Bugsy Malone. He's in Phantom of Paradise, which you guys have to fucking see this movie. Brian De Palma. It's Brian De Palma. It's a musical.
Oh, okay.
Muppets. He wrote most of the Muppet songs and stuff like that. He does all that stuff. He's a big time writer.
Give them a mind of the Muppets.
Yeah, he's always on the Muppets or whatever.
Yeah, man.
He did a lot of songs for Three Dog Night, but he's the PR. He's Andy Warhol's PR manager, you know, public relations manager, whatever. And he gets in the meeting.
Oh, the little guy?
Yeah. Where you been, man?
No, I'm sitting there like, I'm just waiting for you to give me a clue as to who you're talking about. I know the work you're talking about, but I don't know the person.
You definitely know the person. But you need to, Crispin Glover killed fucking Andy Warhol. He was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many people that...
Andy, this is Jim Morrison of the world famous Doors musical group. Andy Warhol, of course.
Wow. We really like your music.
How you doing, Andy?
Oh, great. And there were so many people at the show. The paintings were getting crushed, and they had to take them all down, so it were kind of great.
Just the walls. You see, Andy was the art. You should do a show with just bare walls.
We'd really like to use you in one of our movies, Jim. You're really such a beauty.
You hear what Andy said? Someday everybody will be famous for 15 days. Huh?
You'd really be great, wouldn't you?
Minutes.
I mean...
It's the singer, not the song. It's the astronaut, not the voyage. When the vernacular do work for you. The trip, not the arrival.
Somebody gave me this telephone. I think it was Edie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Edie.
Yeah. And she said that I could talk to God with it, but I don't have anything to say. Here, this is for you. No, you can talk to God.
Andy!
Oh, hi.
I got this phone.
He's like, they said he could talk to God, but I don't have anything to say to him.
And then they're talking about some girl like, yo, Jim, some girl said she could drink you under the table.
It's Nico.
Yeah.
So that's a real person in real life.
Okay.
That was a model. She
died.
She died of a heroin overdose in the 80s. Yeah. It happened a lot.
Yeah, right.
The band, the Velvet Underground, right?
That's the heroin song. Yeah, that's Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground.
Gotcha.
So they saw Albert Stone still praised him too because he was like that guy was just a way ahead of his time or whatever.
Right. Yeah, he was.
And that was when they're playing heroin, right?
Yeah. And that's when the guys are like, this ain't our scene, man. We got to get the hell out of here. And he's like, that's when Jim's starting to distance himself from them.
Yeah.
Now he's like, it's like they're doing their own thing and he's doing his own thing or whatever. And he's starting to see that more and more and everything.
Yeah, they convinced him to go out to a party after that.
Well, they go to the hotel, and that's when he's in the elevator with the girl. Freaking blowing them.
Yeah.
Pam opens.
Like, what the fuck?
Now it skips over to the interview. You got something I'm saying?
Oh, no. Good.
The interview now. And that's where they're giving him bad criticism about the American Prayer.
Yeah. And where he meets the
Patricia.
Yeah.
Yep. He's got a lot of great lines in there. I couldn't write them all, but like one of the things is like, I'm interested in chaos and disorder.
There's a lot of great lines.
I love that.
That's when he tells them that his parents are dead.
Yeah.
And,
He said, I don't like to talk about that. He died in a car accident. The Indian on the road, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, exactly. That's where he gives him that stuff.
But
he says he doesn't remember being born. It must have happened during one of my blackouts. That's my favorite line.
I tried to laugh.
And my other favorite line too, but I didn't write the whole thing. I should have wrote it down. But is when it says, "I believe in a long range something of the senses." It's like, I have it on my phone too. Like,
I try to live my life.
So now it goes into the song "End of the Night."
That's
a great song. That's from the first album. So also all the songs are in chronological order as for the albums.
Oh, okay.
For the most part. I think he said there was a couple of them that
they switched around.
Just switch around, but not like most of them. And he's having sex with Patricia.
Yeah.
Like crazy sex and shit like that.
That's the crazy fucking thing. Like, you ever drink blood? Like, where you get the blood from?
They're doing the whole ceremony and shit and everything.
This is the first time he does coke because it seems like he's like, oh,
so yes, this is when he got into coke.
Okay.
So every time we do coke, man, every time I do coke speech. Yeah, because he was in phases. He was doing LSD a lot first.
Yeah.
Then he went into coke. Coke, they said it was like that one fucking made him nuts. Then he got into the drinking. Yeah. Drinking was the final one. So then they skip to Pam in the bed, whatever. Him and Pam in the bed, and they talk, whatever. And then they get into the whole argument because she's just like, you're not ready for this. You're not a rock star. You're a poet. You're not ready for all this stuff.
You put on every show like it's your last show. All the energy you're putting out. She's like, you're fucking burning yourself out. You're writing. You're preparing yourself.
Yep. Because he's obsessed with death.
Yeah.
And he gives her a line, would you die for me? Shit like that.
Hang out the fucking window.
Not yet. This one, no.
Twice he does
No, I know, but not yet. Because they go to the fight. Yeah, no, this one, he's just throwing shit at her and they get to the final thing. Oh, yeah, then he's hanging on the window. Yeah. And that's when it turns this song. The song goes from End of the Night, which is a nice calm song, and then all of a sudden it goes, Wild Child, Full of Grace, while they're fighting and everything. And he wrote that song for Pam.
Oh, yeah.
Pam was not a very well-liked person. People.
Oh, really?
From what people said.
Oh, okay. I like Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan's great. She played it as the character as much as she can.
Yeah.
But they said that she was always constantly nagging and being pissed off at Jim. But she also hung on him like she does in the movie. Like she's always on top of him.
Yeah.
So one of those scenes that's really quick that when the hairdresser's doing Jim's hair and she's just like, no, that's good, it's good. And she like puts her arm around trying to protect him.
I'll fix it.
Don't watch it, don't comb it, don't touch it.
Exactly. So, but they said she was very overprotective like that, and she was just always starting fights with him.
Wow.
But they said that she was, and that's what he's hanging from the window. He's like, will you die for me?
I don't believe you. She said, get it again.
So now we're going to another concert, and Patricia meets him backstage.
Yeah.
And she tells him she found out that,
his parents are alive. Yeah, don't lie to me again. Yeah. Yeah, his father was like a naval captain or something.
Yeah.
So not only that, but Oliver Stone goes into deep. And I'm sorry, forgive me for not knowing the actual name of the place, but he was there when the Vietnam War started.
Yeah.
Oh, he was literally part of the whole Vietnam War starting.
Oh, what, that movie that movie they made, like When We Were Soldiers?
No, not that. It was the one that got the government to say, all right, listen, we need to go there now.
Oh, okay.
Operations?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about there was an event. There was an event that happened.
Oh, okay.
Between Vietnam and America.
Gotcha.
Which is the reason why the government, Congress said, okay, no, you know what, we need to go there.
Communism.
And his father was actually a part of that, so he's like, kind of came full circle. He's like, and meanwhile, Jim Morrison was so against the war.
Yep. Okay.
Unknown Soldier is a protest song for that, and I mean, even though I'm skipping ahead, but because of Unknown Soldier, that's when they stopped playing them on the radio because they didn't want that protest shit on the radio.
Right. Damn, I didn't know that shit.
Damn, Jim always fucking things up, man.
So the cop comes in there and everything, and he's like, "Yeah, you guys gotta get the fuck out of here." He's like, "You don't know who I am?" Shit. That's Titus Welliver. I don't know if you know who he is. I was like,
yeah, the actor looked familiar.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's on a show Bosch on Amazon Prime.
No.
You ever see like he was also on Sons of Anarchy. He was the leader of the IRA.
Oh, okay.
When they were in Ireland, when they were going back and forth in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he was mad young in that one and everything. And he sprays him with the fucking pepper spray.
Oh, mate, goddamn it.
They got Jim.
They got Jim.
Yeah. So he goes out there and they start playing Backdoor Man.
Yeah.
And cops are like fucking beating up the fans and shit like that. Throwing the fucking fans all over the place. He said all the fans there were actually like real Doors fans. And they came dressed as hippies on purpose to make sure they can get there. And he goes, and 99% of them all got naked by themselves. They didn't have to tell them to do it. They just wanted to do it. They just wanted to do it. Yeah, so like some of them went full on. Yeah, they went full on.
They started jumping on the stage.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, you know, naked and stuff. That's pretty funny.
Story about that.
No, and he starts telling the story about what happened.
And he made me the damn pig.
Yeah, he started inciting him.
He's just mad because I was getting some and he wasn't.
Yeah. And then when he starts telling that story, they start playing When the Music's Over.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs, by the way.
That's a great song. So they wound up arresting him for what do you want to call it?
Disorderly kind. No,
for talking, saying bad words, offensive language, whatever. I forgot the word.
Violated. I forgot the name of it. But it was
Obscenity
really dumb.
Obscenity, yeah, something like that. Yeah, something.
Good.
So now it switches over to Roadhouse Blues.
Yes.
I told you I got the whole sound. I got every song.
Whole song, man.
I wish I showed you the book, man. I love the book. So I got a book that I got as a Christmas gift that I really wanted. It's like this thick, like this big, hardcover. Has every single writings of Jim Morrison. Poetry, songs, movie script. He wrote a movie. Everything that he wrote, little notes and stuff like that. He has a notebook. It's fucking amazing. I still fucking haven't finished it. It's like so big. So Roadhouse Blues playing. That's when you meet Billy Idol and Cat and Dog. The big guy. And,
yeah.
And Billy Idol's cat. So Billy Idol also worked off screen to help with the concerts.
Oh, nice.
To help build up the energy. He was like building up the energy for the crowd.
So like doing like a concert or something like
and it was like, and then he would tell them what to do. Yeah, what to do with the energy, whatever. Speaking of which, too, I forgot to say that Paul Rothschild guy, he also did all the music in the movie. So he produced all the music.
Like he was the one. The original. Yeah, the original.
The original executive.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. He did the soundtrack for the movie, so he redid all the music or whatever. And like I said, he put Jim Morrison and Val Kilmer's voice together.
So Billy Idol was the one with the long hair.
No, the short blonde hair.
Short hair.
Okay. Some wedding singer.
I know what Billy Idol is.
The minute I saw it, I was thinking, is that Billy Idol or is that somebody playing Billy Idol?
No, Billy Idol wasn't around at that time. Billy Idol was 80s. But he was now he's getting out of control with the drinking.
Yeah, dude.
And he starts pissing on the bar.
Right? Like, get that out of here.
And it's funny because they have a couple of featurettes on there, and one of them interviews the guy from Three Dog Night, which is weird that we're talking about that. And he was there at that time. When, like Jim Morrison's drinking buddy. And he said, we were constantly getting kicked out of bars. Like, there were just 86ers out of every fucking bar. We were running out of places to go. And so now Pam and Jim are walking, and she finds out that he's on some shit. She's like, hey, it's only low-grade acid.
While they're carrying the packages.
Ready for what's the gravy train? Jim, did you think you weren't going to drink? He's like, I ain't drinking, Ma.
She's like, oh, well, you peaked, and I'm not going to be peaking. I was like, man, I miss those days.
Well, they're not going to peak at the same time.
Yeah, we can't peak at the same time. Everybody's got to do the acid at the same time.
Which wound up being a bad idea for her to take acid.
And she goes, oh, by the way, where's the car? He goes, oh, we lost the car.
She's like, why don't we have one?
I know we lost.
Oh, so she's just cooking a duck. Like, who cooks duck? Even Oliver Stone said, they goes, I don't know if I'm confused by the movie, but it was like, what's it? They made up that scene, by the way. That wasn't a true scene. They did have fights like that, but that whole thing was made up.
To kind of show,
it was kind of, and it was like
the drama.
People that hung out with them said, oh, like, he was taking kind of stories from everybody. Kind of wrote a screen on,
Got you.
But they were cooking a duck or whatever, and he was like, why the fuck are you cooking duck on Thanksgiving?
A big ass duck.
He burns the duck or whatever. And then it changes to the song.
No.
Well, he starts singing it to her because she's I'm a spy in the house of love.
Oh my God! That song was so.
You're mixing everything up. So he says that to calm her down in the beginning.
No. First he says the words. He sings it to her.
Yeah.
And then he gives her, then he gives her another drug. Yeah, I don't know if it was acid or something.
No, that's what I'm saying. That was before they even
No.
And then they cook the duck because now she's.
Oh yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
She's like, I cooked the duck. Yeah. He feeds her another drug, whatever, and then she's reading all this poetry. The lions in the streets roaming.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we got to sort all this stuff out.
Yeah, she's bugging out, whatever, and then the music changes over to "Love Me 2 Times." Yeah. Love me 2 times.
Oh damn! I didn't know that one.
All of a sudden, Patricia shows up. And she's like, yo, Patricia, you put your dick in her?
Like, so
nonchalantly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she's like, you ruined another Thanksgiving. Just throwing shit at him. And she's like, you killed my duck. She's like, you killed my duck. He's like, I fucking killed your duck. Give me some death. Because she comes at him with the knife. He's like, give me some death.
You like that? Kill me right
now I killed your duck.
And he's stomping on it. He's dead duck.
And dog picks it up. Yeah, he's like, screw it. Let's eat this thing.
Now they start playing Your Lost Little Girl. Your lost little girl. Wow. I got him, man. Catch all this shit.
I know, but
that's what I said. Like watching a movie to me is like listening to a soundtrack. Like I was enjoying it just because of the music.
Exactly, me too.
Then he goes over to the concert and he starts playing "Not to Touch the Earth."
Yes, not a great song.
And they're juxtaposing it with Pam doing heroin with the other guy, with the Italian guy. So that was a real thing too. That she would have a fling with the Italian guy. Whatever. They didn't know his name. They didn't know, but everybody knew about him.
Yeah.
And he walked in on her or whatever.
He's like, take your heroin with you when you leave.
So now the way he got his story from was because Paul Rothschild, I believe it was Paul Rothschild, lived a couple of doors down, and Pam came running in there into the house crying and shit like that. She was like, Jim tried to fucking burn me down in the closet. So that's like put the scene there. Is it true or not? They don't know. But it was just like from hearsay.
Yeah.
One of those things like she said it, whatever.
I believe that shit. I believe it.
Yeah, because he likes the fucking closet on fire with the spraying fucking light.
That's part of the trip, baby.
Yep. And again, most of his fucking dialogue in this movie is his poetry. Or his lyrics, from his lyrics.
Yep.
And they're all fucked up, whatever. Then he crashes into the police car, which that really happened too. Which I didn't understand. I was like, how the fuck did he not go to jail for that?
You know?
Right now, somebody?
No.
They were all in the car and they were like,
crashed into the police car.
And he crashed
I for sure. I thought he got locked up for that.
Oh yeah.
But they lock him up for indecent exposure and saying dumb shit. And then
I think he had a whole bunch of counts and shit, which is what he was all about. You know, that's why they were like, he was gonna do like 2 or 3 years or some shit like that. You know,
like you said.
And then I think that also could have been a hearsay thing too, that nobody knows if it really happened or not. Because there's a lot of those things where he was just going by what people were talking about, but there's no records of.
He's like, look out for the police car. He's like, what? What? Right there. Oh.
So now him and Patricia get married, and I told you that's the real Patricia that's marrying him. He starts doing the Indian dance and everything. They got some real, how do you say that? Sioux Indians? S-I-O-X. Yeah, and choreographers to learn all those dance moves.
Oh, okay.
Even like later on when they had all the Indians dancing on the stage. Yeah. Then the next song. Come on now, touch me, babe. Which I am so fucking awesome with the Oliver Stone says. It's one of the most underrated albums. I was like, fuck yeah, man. I love this whole Parade album.
Yeah, it was.
But it's also when they started, that's when Dewey Cox they made fun of.
Yeah.
We had all those, we had the goats and shit like that. Yeah, they had the goats and everything.
But he started getting all types of fucked up and they couldn't get anything out of them. And shit, you know?
But the thing was, the point of it was that they overproduced their songs. Mm-hmm. Like now they were saying like they're overlaying too much, that they put too much stuff in there. The horns, exactly. And that whole album is like that. It's all orchestra stuff in the background, kind of like what the Beatles did with Sgt. Pepper. Yeah. So, but he's now he's really fucking drunk.
Cut throwing it in the booth.
Yeah. He can't do it. He's like,
And it's crazy how the producer's like, I see Jim, I hear Jim, but it's not the Jim I know.
Yeah.
What happened, guy? And then.
And even with the music though itself, the lyrics and stuff like that aren't as deep as what they used to be.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I can agree with on the Soul Parade album is that there were the lyrics, like Touch Me was very, very simple.
Right.
Very simple lyrics. You know what I'm saying? There's really not much to it. But although Soul Parade now, that's a fucking beautiful poem that's sung. It's basically it's a song. It's sung.
Yeah.
And then you hear the jingle on the radio, on the TV.
Yeah, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire.
He's like, you sold my fucking song? That's when it goes through like, now we don't give a shit. He's like, it's supposed to be about breaking through, wasn't it, right? Breaking through. All about
things
spiritual
change, man. Things change.
Being about music.
So, all right, in real life, the commercial never aired.
Okay.
They did have to do that for the TV, for the movie. He heard about it. He found out about it.
Right.
And they canceled it the last second. So it never actually aired.
Oh, okay.
But he did sell the rights to it, whatever, because, he said it was my song, whatever.
Yeah.
But, again, here's where they're starting to, like,
Yes.
everybody's doing their own thing, whatever. And then they play Soul Parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was talking about wanting to do more blues stuff.
Yeah, well, Pam comes back to him at the end of that scene. And she's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to fight no more, whatever.
Yeah.
They said that was a constant thing. Them two were always breaking up and then getting back together. Breaking up and getting back together. Like, it was just crazy. And then he has the Soul Parade playing, and he starts seeing the visions of the bathtub. Yeah, the blues stuff. Yeah, he started talking about. Yeah, when he was talking about it.
Yeah, I want to do my stuff.
Yeah. He's like, oh, can I do what I want to do? He's like kind of whining and shit like that. The next scene is a memory for me. Evil Destruction.
Yeah.
So Jay, when we used to hang out on the streets or whatever, drinking or whatever and smoking, and Jay would bring out his guitar once in a while, and he played Evil Destruction. Okay. And I fucking fell in love with that song. I was like, that fucking song is amazing. It's a protest song. It's a total Vietnam protest song. But fucking Jay just fucking used to just rock that shit, man. I was like, damn, you gotta put that shit on the fucking on your shows, man.
That's how I used to pick up the chicks.
They're losing their popularity now.
Yeah.
Soul Parade failed on them and everything. Yeah, he's supposed to be going to the next concert or whatever, and he's fucking on the plane. He was fat. He's getting fat and everything.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't find him, And they're like, where is he? We're supposed to go on stage, and they're like, nah, trust me, he's on his way.
And
yo, that speech on the plane was fucking awesome. When he talks about, he's like, yo, Jim, you did everything. You touching the waters. He's like, you got fame. You did the money. You did the drugs. He's like, what are you gonna do in the last act?
Yeah, third act. Yeah.
When you're too fat and too old to go in stage and sing.
I call it a tank.
That was a real good speech. They want structure. They want the structure.
Structure. Yeah.
Somebody else actually pointed out the door, like, yo, what happened to you? You're supposed to be a sex icon. Look how fat you are.
Yeah. The band's fucking furious now and everything. He finally comes, whatever. He's wrecked off of his ass.
Fucking oblivion.
And it's like, what's his name says? It's like, we tip drugs to expand our minds, not escape. Which is a great way to say.
Great line. Great line.
And then he gets the guitarist to take some drugs on stage.
Yeah.
He
tells Krieger to do it. But it's great because at the end, when they say goodbyes, he goes, "Stay off the drugs, man."
Drugs, Robbie.
You see, they're having all these problems on the stage, and
he just smiles like that. So, what song are they playing? 5-1, baby. 1 and 5. No one here gets out alive.
The guy brings the lamb on stage. He's like, my friend, you and he's my friend, right? He's like, no, I'm fucking, but you're too young.
Like he's friend to the animals.
Then he starts going on his rant. He just stops the music or whatever. So now he was hardcore into Nietzsche and Hitler.
But yeah, Hitler.
Because the way that Hitler, and it wasn't about Hitler's stuff. It was about the way he commanded the crowds. Like, how can he control a crowd?
Right.
And that was one of his favorite things of doing was being behind the crowd. Manipulating, yeah. And he loved doing that. Like, that's why he jumps into the crowds all the time and everything. He was always, like, singing with, when he does that whole song, when he's singing with them.
Yeah.
Hitler is alive and well and living in Miami. And he's calling them basically all the people Nazis and shit like that.
They're all slaves. He always said that. He's like, I fucked them last night. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
So they started trying to break into another song, and then he cuts it off.
Yep. And that's where he showed his...
That's when he went, yeah.
So
he never did.
He never did.
It's 100% true.
He didn't.
He never showed his dick.
No, he showed like his finger, right?
Yeah.
And see the finger come
Yeah,
out.
no, there were people that were at the concert, they said, everybody said it, whatever, it was bullshit. But the police,
well, they said that even when they were in court, in the movie, they showed that not one person said they saw it, like the witnesses you brought up,
The one person that did see it was the cop.
Yeah, it was like a niece of the cop or something like that. Well, he did because he was convicted.
What did he convicted?
Yeah.
He was, right?
Yeah, because then
he never did jail time.
No.
He was arrested. But he never did jail time.
No. What happened was that the lawyer says, I'd like to post like $50,000 bail so he can stay out of jail while we what do you do to a court case when you try to fight it again? Try it, basically, appeal.
Appeal, there you go.
Yeah.
So while he appeals it, so that's why he stayed out of jail, because they put up the money while he appealed it, and then he went to Paris to finish it off, before he went to jail.
Gotcha. So and he goes up to the crowd, I want to see some action out there. And he starts doing Break On Through.
Break On Through.
And then that's what they do in the Dead Cat, Dead Rat. A Dead Cat, Dead Rat is a poem that he added into the beginning of that song. But the fact that everybody knew that.
Yeah, the whole crowd.
They do the whole thing. They do, think you're an aristocrat. Well, that's crap. That's the best version of it. I love that version.
Yeah, I highly agree.
So now they go into court. Now they're in the court scene. So now when the music is over, it's playing again now.
He said that in the plane. What are you going to do when the music over, Jim?
Patricia's pregnant. And he's like, yeah, if you want the baby, it could be yours, but you can abort it. I'll be there for you.
Why do you want to have a kid that I'm not going to want? I don't want the kid, whatever.
Yep.
And she's like, he's a child. You're a child. You're a coward.
Yep.
So did she wind up having the baby?
No, she aborted it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Definitely he's guilty. Okay. And basically, he's being canceled, because, like I said, that's when
nobody wanted to hire him. They couldn't get gigs.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a deleted scene, too, where he actually does the Unknown Soldier. Mm-hmm. His famous one was from that Rose Bowl. When he does it and he gets shot, he goes down to the ground like he's dead and everything. He's like, waiting for the Unknown Soldier. But radio stations didn't want to play that. They didn't want that fucking bullshit, fucking hippie protest music.
Because of all of his antics and everything like that, they couldn't book any shows. Just everybody, just like you said, they couldn't get nothing. No radio play, no shows, no nothing. They were just being canceled completely.
So now they go to a montage. Well, it's still playing when the music's over. Of all the shit that... So now Oliver Stone explained was that this was the end of the 60s.
Right.
The end of the 60s happened because of three things. The assassination of Martin Luther King, the assassination of JFK, and the assassination of Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah.
Those three things, boom. That was those are the three people that were trying to get peace going. Mm-hmm. Boom, that was it. And then, the hippies started dissipating.
Yeah. The part that really gets me is Jim sitting there, and they show the flashes, right? And Jim goes, you see Jim crying? He's like, I think I'm having a fucking emotional breakdown.
Yeah.
I was like, yo!
Well, he had a lot. Everything, his world was crumbling. Everybody hated him.
The whole world was crumbling down around him.
He fucked it all up.
Scene, man.
So Pam wants to leave, go to Paris so he could do his poetry.
Yeah.
His plan was 100% supposed to be go to fucking stop doing all the drugs and the drinking and go do the poetry.
Yeah.
They don't show this in the movie, but they were talking about how that's all he did when he got to Paris was drugs and fucking and alcohol. He was at the clubs.
He overdosed.
He was at the clubs. Now, there's another reason about that too, so we'll get to that in a second. The last freaking thing was that he goes to Ray's house to see his kid for his birthday or whatever.
Yeah.
saying his goodbyes to the band or whatever. They're like, we still got another blues album in us or whatever. We could do another one. So they just finished when that happened. So like again, they don't show a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say they just finished the
L.A. Woman.
Album,
L.A. Woman.
Yeah.
So that was that blues album.
Yep.
That's what he really wanted to do. But once he got that out of his system, he was kind of like, all right, I'm good for now for a little bit. Another great album too. Another underrated. His last couple albums weren't as popular, whatever, because they weren't as trippy.
Right.
Like his first 3 albums were very acid-inducing. Like I'm gonna get high and fucking just listen to some cool shit, some head music. And the other ones kind of got like his own little.
It kind of got commercialized.
And no, he didn't. He did his own thing. That's what the problem was because he said they're categorizing all our music now.
Yeah.
So now it's like, now you're doing orchestra shit. Now you're doing blues shit. Now you know what I'm saying? It's like everything was being categorized, and he just wanted to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah. Create.
So he tells him he's moving to Paris, whatever. He gives him all a copy of American Prayer. Which is an excellent book if you know.
Yeah. Have a chance to pick it up.
And that's what's cool. That essential thing I got, it's got it inside there too, the whole book.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was my influences on a lot of my poetry I did. Because it's very weird poetry.
Yep.
And he goes down to the kids and he gives the girl a gift or whatever. And I love that when he sees himself.
Yeah,
and the kid.
Doll?
Yeah.
Oh, no, the little kid. I'm talking about the little kid. He sees himself as a kid. Yeah. That's Oliver Stone's son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in the beginning, too. I forgot to mention that. When he was in the car. He goes, he hated doing that, but he was a trooper. He did it. And you see him like sitting on the Indian's lap.
Sitting on Death's lap.
He's sitting on Death's lap, exactly. Now you get it. It all comes together.
Wow.
And he says one of my favorite lines, too. I had this on, I think I posted this on Facebook once. This is the strangest life I've ever known.
Yeah.
That is fucking dope. It's just such a great line, man, because it's like, because you have so many lives. If you think about it, I mean, I just turned fucking 50. I think about all these different, 10-year periods of what I was doing in that 10-year period and what I was doing in this 10-year period. What was I doing in the 90s? What was I doing in the 2000s? What was I doing in 2010s?
He's like, I was drinking for a while. And,
it rained.
From, what's it called, Kingpin? And then that's what he's been doing. It's a lot of drinking.
What was Woodstock like? It was a lot of drugs. And it rained.
There's another thing I wanted to mention. I'm going back. When I talk about Woodstock, did everybody go to Woodstock?
He mentioned that. Yeah.
Oh shit, I missed that.
Yeah, they mentioned that because that was when
Jimmy go to Woodstock.
Chopper,
and we didn't go. Why weren't we invited?
I don't remember. And what did they say?
I remember they were complaining about when they were getting blacklisted. Nobody.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. Yes. Okay. So he finishes recording the album. That was American Prayer, as I was saying in the beginning, and then that's when he flies off to Paris. And like I said, he was doing all kinds of crazy shit. So now Pam wakes up, and she hears him say,
"Death." She's sleeping here. She hears death.
No, she hears death is not so bad.
Yes.
I love my girl.
Yes.
Fuck,
dude.
Beautiful. That's beautiful, man.
I got children.
Hell yeah.
Now, was he standing in the doorway?
No. That was Indian. The Indian.
Twice,
Native American.
Yeah, I should have lent you the Blu-ray. You could probably saw it and heard it better.
No,
that was a joke. But no, so now this is the first time she's seeing death.
Yes.
And Oliver Stone said he did that because she's going to see death in a couple of years.
Right.
Because after he died,
3 years later,
she was miserable. She overdosed. 3 years later, him, they said it was heart failure. So now the thing with him, okay, so real quick, she comes into the room, the bathroom. Right. She thinks he's just sleeping or whatever. Yeah. His eyes are wide open. But he's smiling. Yes. He's smiling. He finally found death. Yeah. He finally got death or whatever. And she says a great line.
What'd she say?
She says, did you enjoy it when it came, just like you said you would? And then, okay, so now, before I get into, oh my God, I wish I could just recite the poem. But I'll spare you. There was a rumor, too, that he died in a club. Okay. And they brought him into that place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, so they wouldn't be involved with it or whatever that. Something like that.
Oh,
again.
Wow. Okay. We don't know.
Some dignity. Yeah.
There was I've heard there was another one, too, that I heard. But that one was, I forgot all about it. And then when Oliver Stone mentioned that, he goes, there's a lot of different rumors. I was like, oh, shit, I forgot all about that. I was like, I got to look into that again. There was a lot of conspiracy about it. Even he was like, you think he's alive? I was like, no, he's definitely dead.
Yeah.
I was like, the way.
Yeah,
the shit that he was doing, man, his body would not have fucking.
Elvis came down and picked him up.
So now they start playing The Severed Garden, again from the American Craft. And they put that on the soundtrack, of the Doors soundtrack. And that's how we found out about it. And it's fucking just such an amazing poem.
Yeah.
They are waiting to take us into the severed garden. You know how pale and wanton thrillful comes death in a strange hour, unannounced, unplanned for, like a scaring, over-friendly guest you've brought to bed. Death makes angels of us all and gives us wings where we had shoulders smooth as ravens' claws. No more money, no more fancy dress. This other kingdom seems by far the best, until its other jaw reveals incest and loose obedience to a vegetable law. I will not go. Prefer a feast of friends to a giant family.
And the ending we always used to love: death makes angels of us all and give us wings where we once had shoulders smooth as ravens' claws. Ding, 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 ding. No more money, no more fancy dress. I know, sorry, I couldn't help it. So he died when he was 27. He joined the 27 Club. Janice, Jimmy, him,
James Dean,
Kurt Cobain.
27.
Zappa? No.
No,
Frank Zappa? No, Frank Zappa was alive. He's still alive, I think.
No, he died.
Frank Zappa?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but he was definitely old when he died.
Okay.
He was still around. He was around the late 80s. Oh, so this is a cool thing that I didn't catch. But Oliver Stone educated me. So now it jumps over to, it gives you all that sad stuff. It shows his grave, whatever.
Right.
And then it jumps to them playing L.A. Woman.
Yes.
And they're in a house. I didn't notice that. I thought it was a studio. I was wondering why he was sitting on the toilet bowl. Because he's sitting on the tolet bowl singing. And they're going through the credits. They're going through all the credits. What happened was, because they said that they were overproduced, when they were showing that when they did their last album, L.A. Woman, they did it in a house and went back to the basics. Without no crazy studio stuff involved like that and everything else. And it gave it that kind of like grunge sound or whatever that they wanted.
Exactly.
So that was pretty cool. He was like, he literally sat in the fucking toilet was singing, so this is where they had the echo.
Bathrooms did give you.
That's cool, man. All right, good job, guys. That was good. How long did we get on that one?
An hour.
All right, Chavez, let's go get your fucking. Let's get your review.
Okay.
So
microphones,
acid hits.
Let me see.
Whiskey bottles. Yeah,
whiskey bottles, man. I can for that. I know what the next one I got. I wrote it down. I know what I got.
I'm crazy. I'm gonna give this 4 whiskey bottles because when I watched it the first time, I really forgot. I didn't know. I knew why I fell in love with the Doors, and it really intrigued me and it got me full hook, line, and sinker.
Plus, you had to deal with me with all that shit all my life, all your life.
Exactly.
Literally.
Forced it down your throat.
Yes, exactly. If I didn't force that down your throat, man, but thank God you liked it.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of the scene from Misery when he's like, "Eat it, you sick, twisted fuck,"
No, Chops got right into that shit, man. He's like, that shit's cool, man. But then we were all drugs, smoking weed and shit like that. And then at Delby Health, once we did LSD, we're like, oh my God, this shit's even better.
Exactly. This is Pink Floyd.
Exactly.
And then I watched it again today. I watched it twice.
Yeah, because we were supposed to do it the last podcast.
Yeah, and it gave me the same exact feeling I had when I watched it the first time. That's why I love watching movies twice sometimes, because this way you get a second review in your head of how good is it really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So this is four out of 5, right?
4 out of 5. Whiskey bottles.
I'd have to go, and I'd have to agree with the 4 out of 5. Definitely, the artistic, artistry of the directing, and you know, the storyline, you know, just, you know, I didn't feel like it was 3 hours long or whatever it was.
No, definitely 2 hours, 2 and 20.
Yeah, 2 and 20. Okay, so that's why I didn't feel like 3 hours.
I just got
But yeah, you know, so I definitely appreciate it. I've watched it several times, you know, so, and I haven't gotten sick of it, you know, and like you mentioned, the soundtrack alone is just enough to watch it, you know, so yeah, I got the 4.
All right, cool. I did my thing I did on Candyman where I kind of broke it down. I gave the music 5.0 because again, this is very you know, leaning toward like it's me. You know, like, this is how I feel, and it's just because again, it was like if it was a Guns N' Roses documentary, I'd probably do the same thing. You know what I mean? Nah, they could fuck that one up big time. Director, I gave him 4.8. Oliver Stone, the man.
Yes.
I love this movie. I love the visuals. I love learning about it because he was great on Platoon as a commentary.
Okay.
The commentary like blew my mind of how much, and I love that when a director wants to show you and tell you like everything he knows about because this is something he experienced firsthand.
Right.
And his love for the Doors, it just shines right through it. And, like you just feel like you're at the bar talking to somebody that loves the Doors like you do, and you can just talk all night. But speaking of which, I gotta tell you something funny too after that. Acting, I gave it a 4.7. It was Val Kilmer, Meg Ryan killed it. You know what I'm saying? Ray Manzarek killed it. Carl McLaughlin. Robbie Krieger, a little bit. Yeah. Kevin Dillon too. Wasn't his best role, so that's why I kind of lowered it down.
Okay, right.
I had nothing else to do because the other one I was like, scary factor or whatever. So my thing was entertainment value. And again, every time this movie's on, I fucking leave it on. So I got a 5.0. So it made a 4.9 whiskey bottles. Almost a perfect score. Almost a perfect score. I think, like I said, I think the acting brought it down.
It's all Kevin Dillon's fault.
Damn you.
But again, highly recommended. I highly recommend listening to The Doors if you never did it for the new generation. There's a lot of great music out there that, you know, and they're still discovering it. That's what's great. Like, they were talking about how, we talked about before, about how old music is starting to come back now.
Yeah, full circle.
Because, you know, and that's what happened with us. I mean, when we got into it was when the movie came out, so in 92.
Because the new artists need some music to remake, so circle back around.
Yeah, so by listening to The Doors, open up the doors now, literally, to like Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, all those old '60s bands.
Right.
And I remember asking my father for all those fucking albums and everything. He goes, "I think Lou's smoking weed."
He's like, "That's why you stick to the Beatles."
Yeah, he's like, he went Jefferson Airplane, Janis Joplin, fucking Jimi Hendrix, and The Doors.
I think The Doors gave it away.
I think all of them gave it away.
Exactly. I see the breadcrumb trail.
Exactly.
Like, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, I guess it's a dog.
It's a dog, Buford. All right, that's great. That's the end of our episode. Jay, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I'd like for you to remember to subscribe and like us.
Oh, right. And I'd like you to hit the little bell icon on the bottom so you get all the new episodes as you see them, as we put them out.
All right, and that's a wrap for our night. Have a good night.